Just talking today, Wednesday, 9 November 2022. I'm giving this a second whirl. I woke up at 4 something this morning and then didn't get out of bed until 5 something and then had breakfast and talked with Dad, and I was not the last one up this morning at 5 something. So my mom was the last one up. But then she was like, but do we count waking up? But I didn't mention that I actually woke up at like 4:40. So okay, I was not the last one up this morning. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm up like over an hour earlier. Like I woke up at like 4 something. I was like, I'm up, like I'm awake like 2 hours early. So how am I gonna pass the morning? And so I've been watching YouTube. I'm a good consumer of YouTube content. And I'm a good liker. I don't, so this is just talking. So, and I don't really have talking points. So this is one. I do like a lot of videos if I like them. I do dislike videos, but if I had to ballpark my guess as to like of the percentage of videos that I like watch, how many do I dislike? It's probably like 0.1%. And that might be high. I don't dislike videos very often. I dislike if I've seen a concept before and somebody's calling it like an original, they're the first ever, like first all time to do something, I might dislike that video. Or one of the trends in my lifetime is people trying to like, they'll put forward someone who has a medical condition and be like, isn't she so beautiful? Like leading, that kind of thing. I'll dislike those kind because beauty's on the inside. That's what I was raised with. And saying someone is beautiful because they have a condition says absolutely nothing about the internal the character of the person. So it's a flawed logic at best kind of thing. So it's just kind of not really grounded in reality of, it doesn't make a person beautiful on the inside that they have a medical condition. There's just I'm not even a parent of a human children, and even I get that. Just bad parenting is one way to phrase that. Maybe raising kids to have a beautiful heart kind of thing. And so those kind of videos are all about like superficiality and about, oh, somebody should be beautiful because they have a condition and they should be allowed to like rape people. Like there's a swimmer who's hairless from America who's molested young children, and she herself is a child, and it's kind of like, and she'll be painted as beautiful. And it's just kind of like, I don't support child abuse. Right? So of course I'm not only am I not gonna like the video, I'll dislike the video. Because they conveniently omit that information from the video. And that'll be like FINA. So FINA comes up a lot. It has a lot of human rights violations. Where do they begin? Stream of consciousness here. Well, FINA is the acronym, which I'm not going to pronounce because the bad French people I've met in life have been very much about trying to correct the pronunciation of people no matter what language the people are speaking. So like I've known French people who will tell me how to speak my English, and they'll be 0 parts English, and I am actually part English by ancestry. So I'm speaking the language of my ancestor kind of thing. And they're not, and they'll be like, that's not how that's pronounced. And they'll be like, you go back to speaking French, right? Like there's when people use words that come from a different or not religion, but ancestry or peoples, and then they're like, we want to take this word in English and make it mean this, when in reality it means something very different. Those are always unethical people. And FINA, it's a French acronym, so I'm not going to pronounce it. Because of the bad French people I've met in my life. And FINA and the Modern International Olympic Committee was founded for a French guy. And both were founded, so one was like founded in the 1800s and one was founded, it was like the International Olympic Committee, and then the FINA was founded in 1908, and at both points in time, the French were propagating slavery in Africa. They still had colonies in Africa, if I'm recalling correctly. Like a lot of African countries kind of gained independence in like the 1950s and 60s. And so it's just kind of that, I mean, clearly people of African descent, it doesn't bother them because they still compete at FINA in FINA events and Olympic Committee events and stuff like that. But they have dirty origins, right? It's French. The lasting legacy of France and its impact in Africa is it's the most widely spoken, most numerously spoken language in all of the continent of Africa is French. So it's kind of a promoting the unethical. It's continuing the colonization of Africa. Right? They're not going back to their languages. At some point, it does become the responsibility of the Africans. Right? They're not switching back to their own languages. So at some point, it becomes the Africans' fault. It's kind of the same with English. People who, and it's not unique to Africa. I mean, if someone's Ukrainian and they're speaking English, it's not really appropriate, right? Especially to hurt people who are English.